Hello, my name is Valerie Proya, and I chose alcohol use disorder for my social issue. We might not think of alcohol when we think of the world's most addictive or harmful drug, but alcohol is up there, completely dwarfing narcotic drugs and mind-altering substances. Alcohol is a drug in every sense of the word, and just because it is legal in the United States and other countries does not mean that it is harmless. Alcohol is an addictive, carcinogenic drug, and consumption is on the rise for women who are more sensitive to its detrimental health effects than men. So terms for alcohol use disorder you might have heard are alcoholism, alcohol abuse, or alcohol addiction. According to the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, this is the definition of alcohol use disorder. You don't have to be an alcoholic for alcohol to be a problem. The use of alcohol used to be illegal. Nationwide prohibition lasted from 1920 until 1933. Earlier this year, stay-at-home orders intended to reduce transmission of COVID-19 caused another issue altogether, as most U.S. states designated liquor stores as essential businesses that could remain open for the pandemic. People decided to use alcohol as a coping mechanism, which skyrocketed the national sale of alcohol by 262% from the year before in March 2019. With the COVID-19 pandemic, women have been disproportionately impacted, taking on a greater share of parenting, teaching, and household duties, and leaving the workforce at 4 times the rate of men. Excessive alcohol use is associated with more than 27,000 deaths among women and girls each year. Excessive alcohol use poses unique health and safety risks to females. As you can see, the numbers speak for themselves. The prevalence of binge drinking in the U.S. is quite high. In 2015, 26.9% of Americans ages 18 and older reported binge drinking at least once in the past month. That's 1/4 of our nation's adults misusing alcohol. The statistics for full-blown alcohol addiction in the United States are also quite concerning. According to research, about 15 million American adults meet the criteria for chronic alcohol addiction. And 88,000 people die from alcohol-related deaths every year in the U.S. That makes alcohol the 3rd leading cause of preventable death, killing more people than all drugs combined. As you can see from this picture here, there is literally no part of us that is not affected negatively by the consumption of alcohol. Drinking alcohol increases the risk of cancers of the mouth, esophagus, pharynx, larynx, liver, and breast. The way we think about alcohol needs to change. We need to stop glamorizing alcohol and teach young women and the rest of society about the real dangers with alcohol use. Mommy wine culture is a thing, and big alcohol began targeting women in the early 1990s, making fruity drinks to recruit more female consumers. According to a study done by the National Epidemiologic Survey on Alcohol and Related Conditions, the rates of high-risk drinking and alcohol use disorder in women has risen 83.7% between 2002 and 2013. Alcohol advertisements targeted towards women tend to avoid all of the common scenarios of someone falling down the stairs, being sloppy drunk, and slurring words. They avoid the painful morning after and the humiliating and sometimes horrifying attempts of trying to piece together the night before. As you can see, there are many resources to help with separating yourself from alcohol, no matter the severity of your problem. Alcohol.org provides several resources. A newer way of achieving sobriety is Instagram. It's a great tool for connecting with sober communities. The hashtag alcohol-free or sober is a good start in finding this type of community. New cancer prevention guidelines in June of this year from the American Cancer Society calls for no alcohol consumption. The last recommendation published was in 2012. They say that at least 18% of all cancer cases in the US are related to alcohol consumption and poor diet. The reason I chose this social issue is because I have struggled with alcohol use disorder for many years myself. I was a mom just wanting to find connection and have some fun. But let me tell you that it is not fun trying to be a good parent with a horrible hangover. I chose the Instagram route for my recovery, and I have been alcohol-free for 2 years. I have collected numerous sober friends in the last 2 years, one whom I met in this class, who I consider to be one of my best friends now. In Chapter 7 of our textbook, it suggests that drinking alcohol may be deviant. On page 149, it is mentioned that many people consider all drug use to be criminal or deviant behavior. It also talks about the problem with the perception of alcohol, and the societal reaction to it determines deviance, since having martinis at a posh bar is perfectly acceptable where drinking wine out of the brown bag on the street is not. Alcohol is a problem in our society in regard to health, economic burden, and global burden. The World Health Organization states that beyond health consequences, the harmful use of alcohol brings significant social and economic losses to individuals and society at large. Last but not least, the economic burden alcohol is exerting on the American economy is quite severe. According to the NIAAA, alcohol misuse costs the United States about $250 billion every year. No matter how alcohol is consumed does not change the fact that it is a drug. Consuming it has detrimental consequences to your health, women even more so. There really is no safe amount to drink if you care about your health. Sobriety is beautiful, according to Laura McKowen, sober author. I will end with a quote of hers and another one that I love. Come with every wound and every woman you've ever loved, every lie you've ever told, and whatever it is that keeps you up at night. Every mouth you've punched in, all the blood you've ever tasted. Come with every enemy you've ever made, and all the family you've ever buried, and every dirty thing you've ever done. Every drink that's burnt your throat, and every morning you've woken with nothing and no one. Come with all your loss, your regrets, sins, memories, blackouts, secrets. I've never seen anything more beautiful than you. The opposite of addiction isn't sobriety, it's connection.